Hi friends, I hope you all are doing well. So today the quotation that I am going to start with is, I have two sides to my personality, one which exists and the other which you perceive. I repeat, I have two sides to my personality, one which exists and the other which you perceive. Now, let's first try to understand what a personality is all about. A personality is the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character, right? Now, a character, a nature, a disposition, a temperament, anything and everything related to it forms a personality. Why did the quote says that I as a person happen to have two different perspectives of looking at my personality? Of course, I have a single personality, but then it is perceived differently by different people. Why? Because one is what I actually happen to be, and the other perspective or the other side of my personality, existing personality, is what you choose to see. For example, I am a person who happens to be an outspoken, extrovert, talkative person. Somebody who speaks to people without having any inhibitions. But then people around me, just because I happen to be a female, I have been gendered in a particular manner, I am expected to behave in a certain fashion just to satisfy your definition of a female. You see, this is how you distinguish between a female and a male characteristic. A male is supposed to be outspoken, a male is expected to be loud, a male is expected to express his views the way he wishes to, anywhere and everywhere. But the moment it comes to a female, you choose to differ there. You take a side and you say, no, being a female, number one, you're not supposed to go beyond a certain limit, and then you need to be very controlled in while expressing your opinions. Because a female who's extremely opinionated is the one who actually doesn't abide by the norms of the society, which is again a wrong thing to do. My dear friends, I could be a person who's born a female, but then I could have instincts, I could have characteristics which are more of manly nature. But what do I do about it? You cannot kill me for that, right? I should not be penalized or punished for that, right? Similarly, a male who's submissive, who's feeble, who's somebody who keeps to himself, who doesn't speak much, who doesn't have an opinion for everything, who doesn't take wrong decisions. Why am I saying so? Because a male is expected to take a decision, could be right, could be wrong, nobody bothers, because he is a male, the head of the institution, head of the family, head of the social structure, somebody who dominates majorly. I am not saying in all cases, but majorly it's seen that a male is the one who is expected to dominate the scene, is the one who is expected to be in command, is the one who is expected to have a view, have an opinion, have some or the other say all the time. But then, my dear friends, as you all must have witnessed and seen, we do come across people, we do find people who have overlapping characteristics. I could be born a female, but I could have certain characteristics of a male. Now this I am talking in terms of biology, not socially speaking. Biologically, I could be having different characteristics. And the moment it comes to the social structure, I could be behaving in a certain manner depending upon my nurturing upon the way I was brought up, depending upon the kind of schooling that I had, depending upon the kind of friends that I had, whether I was blessed to have friends who gave me every opportunity to grow, or the friends who were a bully and they never gave me any opportunity to flourish, to nurture my innermost fears and to nurture my innermost assets. Yeah, so I could be born and brought up in a society where I got all the conducive things, the conducive environment for me to grow in a particular manner. Or I could have been born in a family, in an environment where things were quite hostile. I weren't given an opportunity to be myself ever. So I basically was suppressed all the time, or I would not like to make use of the term oppressed here, but then we do have instances which prove the fact that in some or the other different environments, people do get oppressed too, of either gender, not necessarily a female all the time. So I have a personality which is mine, which was shaped because of the environment in which I grew up. But then you choose to differ in looking at my actual personality, and you choose to handpick the qualities or the characteristics that you want to see in me, and you want to say that no, he or she is not what he or she seems to be, rather he or she is somebody who is a different personality. Now, being a dual-faced person, or having a facade for that matter, an outer appearance which is very dubious in nature, that could be again an instance, but not necessarily in all the cases. So I have two sides to my personality, one which exists, which is actually there, and the other which you think is there. I hope that you would agree. You do have a chance to share your views, and do let me know whether I or my opinions had some impact on your perception of a personality, or whether you have something to add on to whatever I have already stated. Hello friends. So in continuation to the previous video on I have two sides to my personality, one which exists and the other which you perceive, I would like to share a few more things. Number one, I would like to share the important personality types which are basically responsible for assessing or perceiving a particular person as they usually perceive, because it's what kind of a personality am I which is going to drive me in order to have a certain perspective towards the people around me, right? So starting with the personality types, I am here to share with you 16 major personality types in very short. Number one is the inspector, and they are the serious kind of people, formal and proper, and they have and cherish old school values like patience, hard work, honor, and social and cultural responsibility. Then the counselor personality is there, which happens to be that of the visionaries and idealists. They aren't easily understood by the world, because anyone who has a vision, anyone who happens to be an idealist, is supposed to be someone who is considered to be impractical by the world around us. Then the mastermind. They are truly introverts. They keep quiet and usually prefer to work individually and are interested only in big ideas and theories. Strategists, development of planning, etc., are the things that keep them busy, right? So they are basically strategists. By this, what I mean is that they keep inventing and reinventing strategies in order to carry out the plans that they are responsible for making. And then we have the giver. These are the people who are busy pleasing people around. They serve people, they are extroverted, idealistic, charismatic, outspoken, as well as ethically quite charged. Then we have the craftsman, mysterious and often misunderstood people. They are considered to be the ones who are guided hugely by a rationale or logic, along with being spontaneous and zealously creative. Then we have the provider. These are socially engaged and intend to make people happy, which results in their popularity. So they become famous only because they are the people who intend to satisfy people with their deeds. Then we have the idealists. They refrain from talking about themselves, or they aren't so boastful, so they don't boast about their achievements and whatever qualities they possess. They're highly imaginative and mostly overthinkers. They are busy fantasizing as well. Then we have the performers. These are extroverted, observant, adventurous, as well as entertainers. The center stage is the place where their heart basically lies. They are lively, fun, jolly, warm, generous, and friendly people. They love excitement and drama and are concerned about the well-being of the others. Then we have the champion, extroverted, intuitive, and highly individualistic. At the same time, they are even quite thoughtful. So all these characteristics of these personality types tells us that people assess people on the basis of whatever personality traits they themselves possess. Then the 10th personality type is that of the doer. The people who are again extroverted, sensing, thinking, perceptive, and people who have an opinion and are always ready to take action for whatever situation they confront. Then the supervisor kind. They follow traditional values like organization, honesty, dedication, dignity. They always intend to follow the right or the virtuous paths, just like a true good citizen. Then we have the commander. He or she happens to hold a commanding position and looks for discipline in the surroundings. Then we have the thinker. The thinker are the most logical of all the personality types. They tend to sense and read the people around. Practicality is something they lack, capable of coming up with a sensible and unbiased solution. So they are always ready to offer solutions which are sensible and at the same time without any prejudice. Then the nurturer. They are considered to be philanthropists at heart. They are very sensitive to the feelings of others. Then we have the visionary. They are rarest of the rare personalities to be found. Extroverts, intelligent and knowledgeable. They need to be stimulated by discussing theories, and they even love arguing based on logic and objectivity. So they are highly logical and objective in nature when it comes to discussing or arguing topics or issues. Then the last one happens to be the composer. They are introverts, generally speaking, in the initial stage. So initially they do not speak to you, they would not offer their advice initially unless they are asked for, unless it's a solicited introduction or a solicited offer, they would not generally initiate. So it's gradually and eventually that they tend to grow warm and friendly. They are fun to be around and spontaneous. They are realistic as well as pragmatic. They are very practical, right? And but then at the same time they are highly diplomatic and tactful and even empathetic. So it's a mixed bag of feelings that they possess by and large. So I'm going to repeat the 16 personality types once again very quickly. The inspector, the counselor, the mastermind, the giver, the craftsman, the provider, the idealist, the performer, the champion, the doer, the supervisor, the commander, the thinker, the nurturer, the visionary, the composer. Now these 16 types I chose to share with you all for the only reason that imagine how wide the entire range is of the people, right? So since they happen to have such a wide range of personality types, they themselves are often guided by whatever characteristics chiefly dominate their own personalities, and that's why they tend to assess you, perceive you differently, and that's one of the major reasons why we do not tend to fetch the kind of an opinion or a feedback from everyone that we otherwise should be getting, because people around us, they happen to have different personality types and they are guided by those personality traits of theirs. So they are simply helpless. Even they cannot do much about changing the way they perceive things and people around them. Now I'll be giving you, rather sharing a couple of examples which is going to further elaborate this thing. For example, if there's a person who's a doer, he is not going to look for any solutions to a given situation or problem or trauma which doesn't have a practical solution to it, which doesn't have any kind of involvement, active involvement on your part. So they believe that instead of waiting for the times to change, let us take the initiation and let us start doing something about the adverse situation or circumstances. So they are the ones who do. They are the people who are actively involved in changing their otherwise not so good situations. So they are the doers. Now the moment a doer comes or is pitched against somebody who has a laid back attitude, who is somebody who would not seek any advice from anyone, would only rely on whatever his or her inner feelings or instincts tell them. So that is going to be the person who is going to wait patiently for the times to change, would not take any action indeed. And this is going to annoy a doer like anything. Again, giving you another example, हमारे जो फादर या मदर हैं, अगर उनको वो एक स्ट्रिक्ट ओल्ड फैशन ओल्ड स्कूल सोच के साथ में आते हैं, तो दे वुड नॉट लाइक आर लेड बैक एटीट्यूड, राइट. उनको लगेगा कि नहीं, अगर हमने कुछ कहा है तो उसको तुरंत आपको ओबे करना है. एंड द मोमेंट वी डिनाई ओबेइंग द इंस्ट्रक्शंस और कंप्लाइंग विद वट एवर नॉर्म्स दे हैव ऑलरेडी set and expect us to maintain in the family, of course it is obvious that they are going to get annoyed by our behavior. So our behavior basically, or our understanding of a set of behavior or the pattern in which we behave, is all guided, is all an outcome of what kind of a personality I was and what kind of a personality I got molded into because of whatever different external forces or factors responsible for it, right? So आप जब किसी को देखते हैं कि उसने छोटे कपड़े पहने, मे बी आई कम फ्रॉम अ कॉन्वेंट बैकग्राउंड एंड आई वॉज ऑलवेज ब्रॉट अप इन अ पर्टिकुलर मैनर एंड आई वॉज ओके एंड माई पेरेंट्स वर ओके विथ मी वेयरिंग क्लोथ्स ऑफ माई चॉइस. वो छोटे हों, वो बड़े क्लोथ्स हों, उससे बहुत फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता था. बस आपका एक डिसेंट वे ऑफ ड्रेसिंग होना चाहिए, बाकी द चॉइस इज़ ऑल योर्स. तो अब उसको जब कोई एक ऐसा व्यक्ति देखता है, उस व्यक्ति को जिसने छोटे कपड़े पहने, उसको जैसे कोई एक ऐसा व्यक्ति देखता है, या सेट ऑफ पीपल माइंड सेट्स देखते हैं ऐसे व्यक्ति को, छोटे कपड़े पहने हुए व्यक्ति को, इसेंशली एंड जनरली फीमेल्स को, तो उनको लगता है कि यार इनकी अपब्रिंगिंग सही नहीं है और ये गलत प्रवृत्ति की ही लड़की होगी. जबकि ऐसा कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है, ये सिर्फ सोच का डिफरेंस है. क्योंकि उनकी परवरिश, उनका लालन पोषण, लालन पालन एक अलग एनवायरनमेंट में हुआ है, जहाँ उनको बताया गया है कि इस तरह के कपड़े वही लोग पहनते हैं जिनके मन में कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ गलत विचार होते हैं, अनुचित विचार होते हैं. So see, I'm telling you this because this is a practical situation that most of us find ourselves into, right? So it's important to understand that somebody reacting in a certain fashion is of course guided by some or the other reason, डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमर्स में रीज़न, क्योंकि वो उसका रीज़न हो सकता है, वो उसकी पर्सनालिटी टाइप का रीज़न हो सकता है और वो उसके लिए सही हो सकता है, पर कोई नेसेसरी नहीं है, आवश्यक नहीं है कि वो मेरे लिए भी रीज़न सही ठहरे या बैठे या फिट हो. तो हमें बहुत सोच समझ के, इसीलिए बड़े बूढ़े हमारे कहते आए हैं दैट ऑलवेज थिंक ट्वाइस बिफोर टेकिंग अ डिसीजन, थिंक ट्वाइस बिफोर स्पीकिंग, बिफोर यू अटर अ वर्ड, बिफोर यू अटर अ सेंटेंस. बिकॉज अगर आपको लगता है कि ये बहुत आवश्यक नहीं है कि आपको ये बोलना ही है या ये किसी की भलाई के लिए नहीं है, तो मत बोलिए, चुप रहिए. क्योंकि सिर्फ बोलना जिसका कोई भी किसी भी तरह का औचित्य ना हो, रेलेवेंस ना हो, लॉजिक ना हो, तर्क ना हो या उसकी कोई आवश्यकता ना हो, उसका कोई मायने नहीं है, वो कोई मीनिंगफुलनेस को प्रूव नहीं कर पाएगा. सो इट्स बेटर to remain quiet, refrain from speaking just for the sake of speaking, right? And similarly, one should refrain from passing on judgments on a personality just for the sake of making or passing on a judgment. Don't be judgmental without a reason. It's important to know and understand what background does a person come from and what kind of a mindset does he or she have. I could be a very idealistic kind of a person, but then I could be wearing the clothes of my own choice. मैं मॉडर्न आउटलुक की भी हो सकती हूँ ना, कोई आवश्यक नहीं है कि मैं अच्छा ये जो 16 पर्सनालिटी टाइप्स मैंने आपको बताए हैं, नॉट नेसेसरली वन इज़ कंपार्टमेंटलाइज्ड इनटू वन स्पेसिफिक पर्सनालिटी टाइप. As happens with the gender, similarly even personalities tend to have certain overlapping characteristics and features. So let's try to understand this, and I hope that I was able to throw some light on this particular quotation, because I believe that this is something which is going to, if we understand, it is going to help us out in reading people, in finding out what kind of a person behaves in a certain manner and why and how should we deal with that particular person in a certain fashion or in a certain way, because it's he or she who cannot, it's not his option or a choice, it's just that he has it, it's naturally there and you just can't do much about it, though you may always discuss and differ in opinions and may always offer different suggestions which could be welcomed. So thank you.